The wind hit me the second the door slammed shut behind me. Snow lashed across my face, sharp as broken glass. Behind the thick oak door, I could still hear them laughing. My mother's cold voice. My sister Sana's cruel little laugh. "Let him sleep in the shed," she had said. As if I were garbage. As if this house had never been mine too. I stood there in the blizzard, suitcase in one hand, breath turning white in the air, and looked across the yard at the rusted structure near the fence. The shed. They thought they had won. They thought I was broken, and finally useless. They were wrong. Months earlier, after my divorce, and the collapse of the company everyone thought was my only source of power, I had moved back into the family estate. My mother welcomed me with rehearsed sympathy. Sana welcomed me with fake concern and eyes that always lingered too long on my father's office. At first, I ignored the signs, whispers stopping when I entered a room. Documents moved from locked drawers, my father's old ring missing. Then the money started disappearing. Small amounts from the family trust. Clever enough to avoid suspicion. Not clever enough to escape me. I said nothing. Silence is the most dangerous weapon when people mistake it for weakness. One night, passing my mother's study, I heard Sana speaking. "He has nothing left. Push him out now before he recovers." My mother answered without hesitation. "The house should belong to us anyway." That sentence changed everything. Not because it hurt, because it clarified. I stopped being a son and became a strategist. What they did not know was that my father had trusted only one person, with the real structure of this estate, me. Years ago, during another storm, he had shown me the truth about the shed. Behind the rusted walls and broken tools was a hidden hatch beneath the floorboards. A private underground bunker. Reinforced steel, heating, power controls, security monitors, and most importantly, the master control system for the entire property. He had built it during a period when he feared business enemies. Tonight, it became my sanctuary. I crossed the yard through the storm, opened the crooked shed door, and stepped inside. The cold vanished the moment I descended the hidden staircase. Warm air wrapped around me. Soft lights flickered on. I placed my suitcase down and looked at the wall of monitors. Every room in the house glowed on the screens. The dining room, the living room, my father's office, and there they were, celebrating. Sana had opened a bottle of champagne. "To finally getting rid of him," she said, smiling. I watched in silence. Then I reached for the control panel. The house went dark. Instantly. Every light, every heater, every electric fireplace, gone. At first they froze in confusion. Then panic spread. I watched my mother rush to the thermostat. Nothing. Sana ran to the windows and saw the estate gates sliding shut under automatic lock. That was when fear truly entered their faces. The blizzard outside had intensified. Snow hammered the windows. Minutes later, I heard pounding above me. They had come to the shed. To the place they mocked. "Please!" My mother shouted through the storm. "Open the door!" Sana's voice followed, no longer sharp, only desperate. "We're freezing!" I looked at their faces on the monitor. The same faces that had laughed when I stood outside in the cold. I pressed the intercom. "You told me to sleep in the shed." Silence. Then Sana's voice cracked. We didn't mean it. But she had. They both had. Betrayal only regrets itself when consequences arrive. I leaned back in the chair and let the moment breathe. This was not revenge born from rage. This was justice built with patience. Earlier that evening, before they threw me out, my lawyer had already filed the final probate documents. The truth was simple. My father had left executive control of the estate solely to me until the memorial date, which was tomorrow morning. Legally, they had no authority. The trust withdrawals I had tracked were now evidence. By sunrise, the accounts would be frozen. The police and legal officers would arrive, and they would be removed from the property they tried to steal. I pressed the intercom again. "You thought I was powerless." My mother started crying. "Please, son." The word almost made me laugh. For months, I had been treated like a burden. Now I was son again. I let them stay outside for a few more minutes. Long enough for the cold to settle into their bones. Long enough for them to understand what they had tried to do to me. Then I unlocked the outer emergency chamber. Not the bunker, not the warmth. Just enough shelter to keep them alive. Mercy without forgiveness. By morning, the storm had eased. Police vehicles rolled through the front gates. My lawyer stepped out with the court officers. The expressions on my mother's and Sana's faces when they were served the eviction Order were almost worth every moment of pain. Almost, Sana tried to speak. To explain. To cry. I gave her the same thing she gave me. Nothing. I walked past them into the house, warm and silent, and stood in my father's office. The same room they had planned to take. The same room where they decided I was worthless. I looked out the window at the rusted shed standing under fresh snow. People think revenge is loud. It isn't. Real revenge is quiet, calculated, precise. It is letting those who betrayed you walk willingly into the trap built by their own greed. They thought they were sending me to a rusted shed. They never realized it was the only place on the property that truly belonged to me, and when they begged me to open the door, I did. Just not the one they wanted.